you can't smile and be depressed at the same time, unless your name is Jimmy.
Hey, make sure you check us out at therealestateandchillpodcast.com. Buy your real estate merch now. Real estate merch with swag. A brand for hustlers only. Let's go!
Welcome back to the newest episode of the Real Estate and Chill Podcast. I'm your host, James Chattery, here for all your financing needs, here with
Kevin Iglesias, Associate Real Estate Broker. Today, as always, it's $1 million episode. We have the one and only Darryl Davis in the building. If you do not know who this is, you've been living under a rock. If you want to become a power agent, go to DarrylSpeaks.com. Allow us to introduce Darryl Davis.
Let's go.
Yeah! This is beautiful. Brought back the confetti. That's great.
Now I remember why we left it. Oh my gosh.
Only for special occasions. I mean, we're starting 2023 the right way.
That's
We
right.
got Darryl Davis in the building.
You got some on
Finally.
Do I have some in my hand?
You got some on your
All
hand.
right, that's okay. That's all right.
He's got to call me back again.
Yeah. How do I look now? Good? All right, good.
$1 million
Good.
bucks. $1 million bucks.
Well, after that intro, I should ask for a check to be here. So, very excited.
It'll bounce, but hey, we'll write it if you'd like.
The market has changed. Well, I'm glad. Listen,
It's shifted.
it shifted. The market shifted. So, thanks for having me, guys. This is really great. I've been watching what you guys do, and you're making a difference in the industry. You're having fun at the same time. Do you guys usually drink before the show?
Sometimes a little early, but
It's a little early today. That's right. So, what we talk about?
Just give us a brief introduction, who you are,
Oh, sure.
how long have you been in the business, and what you do.
So I've been in the business, as you know, for a long time. Actually, 35 years. I started when I was 19 years old. A little bit of a sad story, so we'll keep it light and nice. But I got in real estate, when I was 19. I was living on my own at 16. My dad passed when I was 14. So I was always supporting myself. I was an emancipated minor, had my own apartment at 16. I was on social services, so I had to be a hustler. I had to make money, So I was watching this television show about how to buy real estate, no money down. It was Tom Vu. You're too young to know.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. I forgot who I'm talking to over here.
35 years ago.
You weren't even a thought in your mother's mind when I... Anyway, so this guy was how to buy real estate, no money down. I went to his free seminar, and I said, wow, real estate is a great thing. You can make your own hours, you make your own money, And so I got in real estate, and then started doing 6 transactions a month, and started training, written 3 books, and now I'm here with you. So this is where my career has ended me. Is surrounded by confetti, talking to these two guys.
That's amazing. I mean, that's tough. I mean, being emancipated at 16 and going out on your own and having to survive and mend for yourself.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. Again, I want to keep it light, but it was a tough time. It's like I have a son, right? And when my son hit 16, I looked at him and I'm like, how the hell did I do that? Because he couldn't be on his own, but I think what we do as human beings is we step up. If you got to survive, you do what you. I'm blessed that my life did not go in a bad direction. People that have that kind of childhood, they could have gone the wrong way. So God had my back, I guess. So, but yeah, so I love real estate because you can make your own hours, do what works for you.
Now, I mean, real estate is not for everybody, right? At 19 years old, did you run into any objections as far as maybe you look too young or whatever the case may be? Because I feel like people who get in the industry that are very young and look young have a harder time than others.
Well, that's a good question because at first, because I had this. Listen, we're being straight and honest. Like this is a therapy.
This is raw and
session.
uncut.
This is raw and
uncut.
I had some insecurity issues, because my dad passing and my mom not and I doing well, so I'm on my own at 16, right? And nobody told me how to be a man, or like if I had problems at school, my friends they go home and talk to their parents. I went home to an empty apartment, so I didn't have anybody to guide me on how to deal with emotions and challenges. So I had to figure it out. I became a student of education. And but when I would go on listing appointments, to go to your question 19, I was renting an apartment. I had all these insecurity issues. I literally could not go and sell a homeowner on me. I'm talking to somebody twice my age who's got a house, and I'm renting an apartment. How can I sell them on me? I was insecure. So what I did is I believed in the industry. I believed in realtor. So I didn't go on an appointment selling me. I sold the industry because, as you know, Kevin, my business, I built it from FSBOs. So for me, when you talk to a FSBO, the reason why they're a FSBO is they haven't bought into realtor. Now, that was good because if it wasn't about me and it was about realtor and I can speak with that conviction, this is why I chose real estate. This is why you shouldn't do it on your own, yada, yada. What happened is when the homeowner bought into realtor and I happened to be the one in front of them, then they naturally hired me. I didn't have to sell them on me. And that's how I started the business. That's how I got past my stuff, so.
That's amazing because again, it's a tough business to survive in. Now that the market is shifting, it's a lot harder to get business now. Things I feel like things are changing. Things are definitely changing.
They are. We were talking about before the show started. We got to say this to people watching. Listen up. We got something for you. I'm seeing right now because the market has changed. I'm seeing more of these companies that are trying to get agents to do video. Mm-hmm. Online, right? Like that's going to fix your career, right?
Yeah.
And then people will see you guys, and they know how successful you are. So, this must be the answer. But we were talking about it. It's not. Like you were doing business. What did you do before you even did this?
So I only got on social media in 2021, right? That's when we launched, 2021.
I think so, yeah.
And from 2016 to 2021, I was just door knocking. I was cold calling. For sale by owners, expireds, but every day, even till now, I still do the same, because it works.
After this, you got a listing you're going
to sign.
Appointment.
Yep.
And who's it with?
A for sale by owner.
Mm-hmm.
So
now wait a second. Did that FSBO watch this show and say, "I got to call this guy"?
No, not at all.
Right?
That FSBO is 80 years old. So
80 years old. He doesn't even have a computer. He thinks internet is a hairspray. Yeah, I get it. Well, see, that's what people have to understand. In 2023, because the market, here's what the market's been like. If you are in a sailboat and the wind is blowing, how you change the direction of your boat is by the sail, right? Now, if let's say your boat is going in the wrong direction, you can complain about the wind. You can yell at the wind. You can say, "Why are you doing this to me, wind? Why you not? You don't treat me nice. This is not fair. I deserve love in my life, wind." So you can complain as much as you want about the wind, and the wind don't care about what you think, what you feel, what you believe. It only matters about what you do, which is you got to change the direction of your sail if you want to change the direction of the boat. Real estate, the winds of real estate has changed. And unfortunately, some agents forgot or never learned how to navigate a boat. They don't know how to work the sails. Because the last 2 years, you didn't have to have skill. You didn't have to have skill on how to negotiate. Tell a buyer you should put it off. Buyers would say, "I'll pay $100,000." There was no asking price on listings. That was the starting price. Mm-hmm. So the problem with agents in the last couple of years is they've gotten skill atrophied, or they never learned it. If they came in the business the last couple of years, they don't understand this. You said to me at the beginning of this that you started FSBOs, door knocking, the whole 9 yards. That's what agents need to do now. It's not coming to. How much business have you gotten from this show? I asked you that. You think?
A couple leads, but I would say it all comes from doing the work as far as calling, you building relationships, calling expires for sale by owners.
That's the secret. You show me an agent who's got a podcast. I saw I saw an agent on Facebook, and they bought one of these softwares. Like that's going to fix the career. Let me buy another app. How many apps have we spent? How many websites have we built? So anyway, I'm watching this person, and they're doing the thing, but they're not succeeding because people are there. We can't do video expecting a FSBO to say, "Hey, that's a good video. Let me list with that person." Right? Yeah. It's branding. It's good to do. It's good to do branding. But you still got to know what to say, when to say, and how to say it when you're belly to belly, face to face with a buyer or seller. Here's what I learned about real estate. If you are a chef, you're in the food business. When you're an attorney, you're in the legal profession. When you're a financial planner, you're in the numbers business. When you're a real estate agent, you're in the communication business. Because 90% of what we do is communication. When you call a FSBO, you do it through communication. When you're coaching a buyer, you're using communication. When you're telling a buyer that what you need to close this, you're doing it through communication. Yeah. When you're dealing with buyer remorse, 90% of listing appointments is communication. You know, I was thinking about this before I came here. So let's say somebody's doing all this social media. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking right now. Is this
no,
okay?
keep going.
Okay,
come on.
If
you're Italian?
Yeah,
I would imagine so.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're Italian,
I had to change my name. You know what I mean? All right. So if you're doing all this social media stuff and the TikTok this and you're doing postcard man, blah blah blah, but when that business comes to you, if you don't know how, so watch this. Let's say somebody's doing video online, and maybe buyers will call on that. You know, I saw you do this. I'm looking for a house. Can you help me? Okay. So they get a buyer, and then they take the buyer, they research it, and they look for houses, and they're showing the buyer the houses, and they're trying to put the deal together. In other words, the agent is really committed to helping this buyer, right? That buyer, though, is not committed to that agent because as soon as another agent has another house, they will go to that other agent and say, let me see a house for you, because the first agent didn't know how to sell that buyer on buyer agency and have that buyer. In other words, the agent's more committed to the buyer than the buyer is. And that's what I mean by communication. There's 3 presentations agents should have. How to present offers. You don't just present the numbers. There's a process. How to do a listing appointment. That's the obvious one. And also how to do a buyer agency conversation. Those are the 3 pre-planned conversations every agent needs. And the agents that are going to thrive this year, because here's what's going to happen, Kevin. We're going to see in 2023 more agents getting out because they're sitting in the boat. The wind has changed. They don't know what to do with the sail, and they're yelling at the wind. In this analogy, be yelling at the market. Oh, I remember the interest rates. Why is the Fed doing this? They shouldn't do this. We should get another president. Who cares? The wind doesn't care about what you think.
The wind is Italian. Forget about it.
You better move that sail, mother, and right? So get to work, you know? Because listen, I was doing, when I was an agent, 6 transactions a month. You know what my interest rates were? 13, 14%. You know how long it took a listing to sell? 6-7 months.
Oh, wow.
So listen, if I could do 6 transactions, you know, here's the other thing. You know, I ran a marathon, right? Do you remember?
Yes, yes.
I'm telling people now, listen, if I can run a marathon, you can go a FSBO. All right? All right? I mean, there's no joke there, you know? So anyway, this is the year of skill. And the agents that are going to thrive, so what's going to happen? Okay, let's say, why am I playing with this? I feel like a child. Let's say that this is the real estate agents. You know, some agents got into real estate in the when it was so crazy because it was so hot, right? They lost their job, whatever. So we had more people. Some people got into real estate because their doctor said they should take it easy for a while. But now what's happened is the market has changed. There's less business, but the agents are still there. The agents that are going to get what's left, which is less, is going to be the ones that are skilled. So what's going to happen is you're going to lose some of these agents because they're going to get out of real estate. That's what's going to happen this year. Now, the good thing is, and it's a process, it's going to take some time. Now, the seasoned agents, the skilled agents, they're going to have an easier time because we got rid of the dead wood. And here's the other thing that's going to happen. I believe the market... you know, when people go through the stages of grief, you know, whatever the stages are, right? But there's a process you go through. We're in a process right now in real estate. When the market changed, there's some sellers still, but my house is special, right? Yeah. we have a 14-karat gold toilet bowl, you know, and when we added the room, we used thicker wood. So anyway, so you try to tell a homeowner, no, the price has changed. They're still in denial, some of them. Some of them have accepted it, but they're angry about it. You have buyers that still haven't accepted the market. But here's what's going to happen. So we're in this denial, frustration phase. But once we get through it, when we have enough of no, the party's over. The rates are not going to go back to where they were. Prices are what they are. As a matter of fact, they may still continue to go up. Like when people get it, that this is it, they're going to come back to the market. So the agents that survive this phase right now are going to do well coming through it on the other side. That's what I think.
Hey, make sure you check us out at the realestateandchillpodcast.com. Buy your real estate merch now. Real estate merch with swag. A brand for hustlers only. Let's go!
So let's just say I was a new agent, right?
Yep.
I'm getting to the business, got my license. I said, oh, crap, I missed my window. What should I be doing to start my career to be successful? What would be your guidance if I came to you and said, Darryl, I need your help? You know?
Okay. There's 4 skill sets. So I always talk in analogies, right? So when you own a restaurant, the chef has different skill sets than the hostess. The hostess has a different skill set than the bookkeeper. And the bookkeeper has different from the the busboy. So you've got all of these different people that run a restaurant, and each one has a different skill set. Now, unfortunately, in our business, we're the cook, we're the hostess, we're the bookkeeper, we're the promoter, we're everything. But what agents miss, the ones that haven't had that financial breakthrough yet, is they don't understand that distinction. And they think it's just showing houses, and that's how you, and there's so much more. So there's 4 skill sets to be successful in this market. And by the way, this is the skill sets we're doing. You're going to be at my event,
Yes.
January 30th.
Yep.
January 30th.
The next level.
Event.
When is it?
January 30th.
Gotcha.
30.
All right.
It's a 3-day event.
3 days.
Foxwood Casinos.
Yes, baby. There's great food there.
I'm not allowed within 50 miles of a casino. I have a gambling problem.
All right,
I
well.
lose $4 on blackjack and I get so angry.
I think there's a number for that, 1-800-GAMBLING. So
Yes,
if you
or
have an
something.
issue,
If you have an issue,
call that line.
Yes.
But if you want to attend the seminar, the
When
event,
is it?
it's January 30th. It's
All right.
actually 3 days though. So don't just come that day, because you'll miss the good part.
where can you buy tickets?
thenextlevelevent.com. Thenextlevelevent.com. Unfortunately, I just spoke to my office though. We only have like 9 sleeping rooms left. So people, don't dilly-dally. Get your rooms. You got to sign up so you don't miss out. Anyway, nextlevelevent.com. We're going to be covering 4 things because the 4 skill sets is what every agent needs. Number 1 is mindset. Mindset is a skill set. You know, because the truth of the matter is, you guys know this, you're successful at what you do, that you know what you have to do, prospect, do business, clients, build relationship, but if you don't feel like it, right, it's hard for you to do the business or you just won't do it. See, if there's any agents watching this, they know I got a prospect. So they say, I'm gonna go in the office. I'm gonna call Fizbo's. And, all right, I'm gonna do it this time. And they're like, okay, let me go get some coffee first. And it's like, and then let me check Facebook first. And so they're doing everything and to avoid doing it because they don't want to do it. So mindset is really important. By the way, I want to say something because any Long Islanders about Fizbo's, some of them think you can't call Fizbo's, and I'm going to cover that at the class. So New York State's got it all twisted. You can call Fizbo's and expireds. Anyway.
Darryl Davis is above the law.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I'm not above the law.
All right, two.
All right, number 2. I ain't coming back to this.
Hey, if you're Italian, that's it. Forget about it. The rules don't apply.
Don't worry about it. I think if somebody bothers you, just let me know. We got it covered. So you got Fizbo's and you got what the hell is mindset? Your attitude.
Yes.
Your attitude dictates your altitude. The second,
I like that.
You like that? Yeah, I didn't make it up, but I'll take credit for it. The second is you need business skills. Okay. Now here's what falls under business skills: website, marketing, postcard mailings, or any kind of mailing, I should say. So the things like, if you think of any business, like when you own a pizzeria, the business skills is managing your money, it's hiring people, being profitable, but it's also marketing as well. Same thing true here for real estate agent. All right. So there's the attitude skills, business skills. There is the selling skills. How to work with buyers, how to get buyer agency, how to negotiate deals, how to present the offer. And the last skill set is, of course, the listing skill set, which includes the prospecting and the doing the appointment and handling sellers' objections, getting higher commissions, yada, yada, yada. Those are 4 skill sets.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that last, is that now that I'm seeing the market change and shift, I'm kind of happy about it, because now all those discount brokers, all the people who got into the business and said, you know what, I'll do this for X amount lower than, let's say standard.
Yep.
They're not going to leave the business because it's not easy anymore, right? You can't get a listing and put it up and then 7, 8 offers and then you're in the contract in 7 days.
Well, look what happened to this Zillow who was doing the iBuyer thing.
Yeah, it backfired.
Because what happened is they got in when the party was happening. So now they can't. So you could have bought a house today for $400,000, and that could be close to fair market value. And within 6 months, it was $500,000. So the iBuyer thing made sense, and you'll see more and more of the iBuyers dropping out. They're all having problems. Redfin was doing an iBuyer program. They said, we're out. And the reason why is because the market changed.
And they were like one of the biggest discount brokerages out there.
There's a few, but you're right. As far as the commission or getting rid of any of these companies that are doing the discounts, you can't chart. Listen, you can't. If it takes 5% to make this confetti. If it takes me 5%. And I say, all right, let me do it for 4%, or if I keep cutting into that commission, there's 2 places when we cut it, and this is what we should say to a homeowner. There's 2 places, any business, if they are going to charge less for a product, that money is coming from one of 2 places. It's either coming from the profit margin, or it's going to they're going to have to replace it with their overhead, cutting back. So that's when you see companies have layoffs or something like that, because they got to answer the shareholders, right? They want to be able to still be profitable and not have it go down, so they'll cut their overhead. In real estate, when you tell a homeowner, when I tell you I'm going to cut my fee, it's going to come from one of 2 places. It's going to come from my profit, the money that I feed my family with. The whole reason why I got into the business. And Mr. and Ms. Anna, don't misunderstand. I'm in this to make a profit. This is why I do what I do. Now, if any agent is willing to cut into their family's money, take money out of their family's house, out of their mouths, how quick are they going to be to take money away from you when it comes to negotiating a deal? If they can't fight for their own family, how the heck are they going to fight for you? But here's what I think. I don't think agents do that. I think they're not going to cut into their profit. They're going to take care of their family. So where's the other place they're going to cut? It's going to be in the marketing, the overhead to run the business. And that's the marketing that you need. This is where they may not tell you this. They're going to say, I'm going to do an open house. So it'll sound like they're doing the same stuff. But what they're not telling you is maybe they're not going to do an open house every weekend if that's what it takes. Maybe they're not going to cut back on some of the advertising. Maybe they're going to cut back on some of the... In other words, they've got to cut back somewhere in order to charge you less. So you get what you pay for.
That was $1 million.
You know what? Take 8%. Just take it.
But now you see what I see. This is the point, Kevin. I hope you have more than 2 people watching this.
Of course we will.
Because what I hope, and I hope the agents watch this, they really get this. You've got to. What I just did is skill. It's communication. What I just did. And this is what agents need that they've gotten bad at the last 2 years. I'm not into, I'm going to use a sport analogy. I don't know why I use sport analogies, because I don't know sports. I don't know the difference between the Knicks or the Mets. I'm not a real man.
Same colors.
So, but what I do understand about sports is that when they're off season, they're not playing, they still work on their craft. They still practice, drill and rehearse, practice, drill and rehearse. If any athlete didn't do that in the offseason, when they go to play the game, they're going to be horrible. They're going to bomb. We've been in the offseason for the last 2 years of real estate when it comes to our skill. You said something to me at the beginning, which was very powerful. You said the reason why you like calling FSBOs and expirants is because it is harder, but that makes you stronger. And it makes it easier when you're belly to belly. See, if you lost your eyesight or your taste or something like that, your other senses get stronger. When you take away the face to face and you've only got the telephone, They can't see you. They can't feel your charisma. They can't feel your charm. They can't see your good looks. All you got is your words. And that's the point I'm making about communication. And when you get good at your words, now you go face to face. Now you're a star. You're an all-star player now, because now you've got your other assets that you have. Anyway, so agents got to get skilled this year, man. Otherwise, they're not gonna survive.
I think important part of that too is also the practice too. Like the practice is the repetitiveness of what you're doing.
That was a perfect analogy. Yeah. That's a perfect analogy.
I think that like a lot of the times, if you're just talking to somebody and you're not really practicing over and over again, no matter how good you were like a few months ago,
right,
you're not going to be the same person.
Exactly.
On the phone, you're not going to be able to sell as well. You're not going to do anything as well if you don't keep repeating it, or if you don't keep, if you take a gap of time of practicing your craft, which I agree with.
Well, and that's why I'm confused, Jimmy or James. I'm going to call you Jimmy James.
Whatever you want.
All right, so Jimmy James is his new name, and Jimmy James, you don't know this about me, but every year in January I would do a one-day class in January, and this year with this next level event, we decided to do 3 days, and the reason why is because of what you just said. We're going to have people role playing in the class, but I've also brought in other experts in the field of real estate and other things, so it's going to be an incredible event. But I knew, because we've gotten atrophied the last 2.5 years, one day was not sufficient. We had to do the 3. So.
And just to give some background story, the way that I met you was that you came to speak at the company at Realty Connect USA.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. No fluff, just honest, and very down to earth, very successful. So I got to buy his tickets, but they were all sold out. So I sent an email out to the company. Luckily, somebody replied, said, hey, I can't make it. Offered me their ticket. I bought the ticket. I went. I'm glad I went. It was in 2019 at the Marriott next to Nassau Coliseum. One thing I liked about your event, which you called for sale by owners on the spot.
Yes.
You made agents in the room look up for sale by owners. So this is how I know it wasn't like scripted, right? Mm-hmm. Random agents looked up for sale by owners. They put it on a sheet and you called them.
Yes.
And got the appointments. And I was just like, just got the appointments.
In front of everybody?
And then
so here's how
everybody, it's like a Wolf of Wall Street moment. Everybody's like,
wow, that's crazy.
Because he set the appointment for the agent.
Right.
It wasn't for Darryl. It was like, hey, I work with so-and-so, and so-and-so, we're meeting you tomorrow. And everybody's like, oh, papers in the air, everybody flying, wigs were flying, things are flying. Can't go into detail, but purchase your tickets and you'll see.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was amazing. One of the best decisions I've ever made. And
Yes.
another thing I like is that you make everybody write a letter to themselves.
Right.
And that letter doesn't get mailed out to you a year later. So it's like, my mindset was, all right, everything that I'm going to write on this list, if I don't accomplish this, I'm going to let myself down. I'm going to feel like a failure because it's the worst feeling to let yourself down, right?
100%.
The worst feeling is lying to yourself and not succeeding to your full potential. So I was like, everything I have to put on this paper, I have to do it. And I got it mailed to my house, and I was just like, whew. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
did everything.
It's cool when we do that, because what we do is we take those letters and we put it in a box and we put a date on it, and we have to wait a year. And a year later, we take that box and we mail it to everybody.
Wow.
So a lot of times people, they don't remember that they wrote the letter or what they wrote in it. And to their surprise, usually, 80-90% of what they wrote, they actually accomplished. So it's pretty cool.
It was very surprising. Very it was amazing. It was amazing. And then when you came to speak again, I was like, oh man, this is great. He's coming back. It's full circle. And that's when I went on stage and I said, hey, we got to get a picture. And I told you everything that I accomplished.
That was
and
cool.
That was amazing. That was amazing. And then I appreciate the personal invitation to your event. thenextlevelevent.com. So purchase your tickets, and I'll be speaking February 1st. So I appreciate that.
He's going to be speaking.
Oh, you're gonna be speaking at it too. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we're doing like a TED Talk thing where it's 10 ideas in 10 minutes that'll
10 ideas
increase
in 10 minutes.
that'll increase your business 10 times.
Interesting. Do we get any hints or something?
No. People
No
got,
hints?
they,
Okay,
people
all right.
You gotta purchase your
they
tickets.
gotta pay for that. What are you talking about?
When's the event?
January 30th.
Oh, okay, nice.
But tickets are almost gone.
.com.
I feel like we have an event coming soon.
Yes.
Tickets going. Like people are
You know why?
knowing
It's 'cause
that you got to move right now.
when you provide so much value, it's like I need to invest in myself because, hey, you can do 10, 30, 40 videos, but if they're not bringing you any value, any knowledge, any education, what are you doing?
Once again, if you the videos, the website, the mailings, like all of that is branding or to get leads. But you still got to do. That's not enough. You got to still cause. All right, let me say, because I don't know if I said it the way I would have liked to say. When you're doing that kind of branding stuff, if you're expecting somebody to now take action, you're giving up control of your career. Like I did a video and I'm not getting calls because you're expecting them to do something. You have to do, and that when it comes to real estate, you have to knock on doors. You got to call people. Like you've got to cause, otherwise you're at the effect. So, this is branding stuff, but you got to still get in the field and do the work.
Let me ask you a tough question. What separates you from all the other coaches in the business?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm always afraid to answer because I don't want to sound like I'm bashing anybody, but and I won't mention names, but every speaker has, or trainer, the best ones have an approach to real estate. And it works for some people to do that approach versus the other. So here's my approach. My approach is, number one, I'm talking about skill, but I'm against scripts. Okay. What I teach is metaphors and analogies, because metaphors and analogies are very transformational. Just think of what I've talked about here, right? I did the restaurant.
I'm a chef, baby.
I did the restaurant analogy. I did the sailboat analogy, right?
The Italian wind.
The Italian wind. So when you're on a listing appointment, you should be using metaphors and analogies. And the good thing about that, you don't have to memorize a script. When you hear a metaphor analogy, you can talk from your heart, not your head. The second thing, and you said that to me too, that's one of the things you learn in the class, is it's called human being, not human doing. The problem is agents are trying to do their business because they're trying to memorize a script that they think is the solution because somebody's telling them that. But meanwhile, that person was never that successful. And plus, even if you try to do that script, that's not your words, that's theirs. So you come off inauthentic, and people pick up on that inauthenticity.
Very robotic.
Very robotic. So you've got to talk from your heart. That's number one. Number two is my whole company is, we believe that our students, our members, are committed to making a difference in the world. And they've chosen real estate as the tool to express that commitment. So for us, it's not about sales. It's not about the money. It's not about putting stuff up on the board. It's about helping people get to their next level in their life. Because when you think about real estate is so much more than just the house. When people are selling and moving, it's because of a life thing. They have a kid happening. They've got a job or a career or something. So selling the house is not the end result. It's a means to a bigger end. Those people are getting to their next level. And so what an agent does is actually help people get to their next level by managing the real estate piece. Because without the real estate piece, the rest of it doesn't happen. So I never teach. Where we're different is you shouldn't close people, you should coach people. So here's an example, a listing appointment. There was another trainer that I knew, God bless him. He's not training anymore, but he used to teach close 3 times. Close, close, close. I don't like to be closed. I don't think people like to. How are we on time? We're good?
No, we're good.
So people don't like to be closed. When you go into a listing appointment, you shouldn't try to close them. You should coach them. You should find out what they're committed to, and based on what they're committed, you're going to give them some advice. Here's how you can get to your next level. Here's how I can help you get to your next level. Now you're serving, not selling. This is why most agents don't like to do listing appointments, and they like to work with buyers, because with buyers, we feel like we're serving. Right? We're showing the house. They say, oh, this is nice. Like there's a lot of, exciting, So, and then we hear the closing and they're sitting there with the key, the cardboard key. I got the key. Right? So when we're working with buyers, it's like fun. And all of a sudden, now on a listing appointment, we got to close, we got to handle objections, we got to convince them to do something they don't want to do. No, I tell agents, no, that's not what the listing appointment is. The listing appointment is you've got to believe in yourself that they're better off with you than them doing it on their own. You got to find out their commitment, coach them, and that's it. Let them choose to hire you. Do your job by coach. When my doctor coaches me to do whatever I got to do, it's up to me to listen or not listen. He doesn't go home and get upset. Oh, Darryl, he's not eating right. He doesn't. He forgot me already. His job is to point it out. Here's your choices. Here's the consequences. I'm fine with whatever you do because it ain't my life, it's yours. And this is how we should be on a listing appointment. I know I'm great. I know I can help you. I know you shouldn't do this on your own. And let me tell you why. I used to say, Kevin, listen, this is not about you hiring me, Mr. and Mrs. Hunt. As a matter of fact, if you don't like me, you don't trust me, you shouldn't hire me. But you should find a realtor that you like and trust. Just like you got a doctor, you got an attorney, you got professions in your life. There's a reason why over 90% of all real estate transactions are done by a realtor. There's a reason, because you shouldn't do it on your own. So I'm trying to help you not make a mistake. If you don't like me, no, don't hire me. Hire somebody else. I'll give you a list of names. But this FSBO thing, this is not good. This is bad for you and your family. This is how we should do a listing appointment. Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. Like I said, that's a mic drop right there. A lot of information. One thing I want to touch base on is the SMILE acronym.
The SMILE.
Yeah. What happens if you don't smile? Jimmy doesn't smile a lot.
I noticed that he's looking very. It's like. Are you with us, Jim? Are you okay? Is the medication kicked in yet? Well, I love the smile. And the reason why, so that's a long story. I try and keep it under 30 seconds. I took a course at Berkeley University called The Science of Happiness. And when I took the course, they talked about smiling is a key in happiness. There was a study about smiling. It interested me. I looked and I found more studies and more studies. Anyway, when we smile, there's a lot that happens in the brain. So, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, they all go up. It's like a natural high. It's like taking an antidepressant without the medication. You can't smile and be depressed at the same time. Unless your name is Jimmy. So I'm trying to look at it. So anyway, there's I could go on and on about smiling, but smiling does it does help you as well. There's a scientific thing called facial feedback. When you smile, your muscles are telling your brain something good is happening. It's like a light switch. Even if you don't feel good, when you put your muscles into the smile, it tricks the brain thinking something is good is happening, so it increases the chemicals, which then makes you feel happy. So we think when we're happy, we smile, but the opposite is also true. When you smile, you become happy. So, anyway.
Yeah, I know that's.
Look, they don't know what to say. They're so amazed by my intelligence.
Are too high. Well, I mean, anything else you could leave us off with? I mean, you gave us a lot of gems, a lot of reasons why people should go to this 3-day event.
Yeah.
A lot of
I'm going to tell you something we're going to do, and you've experienced this. We've had a lot of people say, our coaching members, they'll say, can we stream it? Because some guys will stream it, and we're not streaming this. And the reason why we're not streaming it is because it's an experience, this program. There's things that we're going to be doing. For example, there's something, it's very woo-woo. It's called the breakthrough fear process. And you did this. You may not remember. You didn't know it was called that name. But anyway, Jimmy, what it is, it's a process to help people have a breakthrough in fear. Because for people to get good on the telephone, whether it's FSBOs, Explorers, or whatever, if they're having fear, this thing breaks through that. Like, it resolves it once and for all. And I can't do that on a stream. It has to be done in person. And some people have told us that one exercise is worth the whole program. program because it's really a game changer. So anyway.
Even more reasons on why you should purchase your tickets. How do people become a power agent? If you're a new agent or you're an agent that wants to do even more business or get coached, how can people become a power agent?
Yeah, so what I would like for people to do if they're not familiar with us, the first thing is to see us at the 3-day event, and then after that get into our coaching. If they can't do the 3-day event, then they should check out thepowerprogram.com. It's only $47 a month, but there's live coaching every Monday with me. It's live. Wednesday webinars, marketing material. It's an incredibly it's the best priced product, I think, in training for agents in the industry. It really is. So
Inexpensive.
very
I think that's
inexpensive.
very interesting, though. Like, that's the first time I'm hearing about that. But I think that would be really effective. Like that, because a big thing that I hear from realtors, like being a lender, is that they're scared of doing like door knocking, scared of cold calling, scared of doing a lot of these things. So helping somebody get over that fear, that could really change somebody's career.
It really does, Jim, because you're right. That so my son is my son is 26. He's looking to buy his first house, and there's a story that I'll tell. Do I have time to tell it?
Of course.
Go ahead.
That'll help illustrate how important what you just said is. So when my son was really young, I wanted him to get into sports because I didn't want him to be like me. If he wanted sports and liked it, I wanted that to be an option in his life. So I got out of my comfort zone to bring him to sports things and get him on a team. So there was this little league team where they did tests to see if you were A class, B class, C class based on your skill. Now, my son was not into sports yet, so we walk into this building, and there's wall-to-wall kids and fathers and mothers, and they're all dressed like their favorite baseball player. Now, my son's dressed in his sweatpants, so immediately he feels uncomfortable. And he says to me with this shaky voice, he says, "Daddy, can we, I don't feel good. Can we leave?" And I said, "No, Michael, come on. We're just going to do this." I knew what was happening, right? He was afraid. So I go over to the counter. I asked the name. They said, "Michael, okay, go over to the batting cage." So we go over to the batting cage. This is going to be his first test. And he's watching a kid in the batting cage swinging, hitting every ball. Now imagine, just like in real estate, when we can look at another agent, there's agents that look at you swinging and hitting every ball. And it's intimidating. And we say, "I can't be like that person." And so the fear and insecurity comes up. My son, same thing happened to him. He says, "Daddy, we have to go." Now, I knew right now at this moment, this was a game-changing moment for my son. So I took him over to the bench, over to the side, and I sat him down. I said, "Michael Raymond, you know what I do for a living, right?" He says, "Yes, Daddy." Because he's traveled with me to Australia, New Zealand. He's seen me speak in front of thousands of people, so he fully understands what I do. And I said, "Michael Raymond, I'm going to tell you what I do to help adults. What I help adults do is to get better in their life, is to have fear, but not let fear have them. I don't care, Michael, if you go into that cage and if you hit the ball, not hit the ball, I don't care. I just want you to go in there, swing, baby, swing." And my son is my best student because he looked at me and says, "Okay, Daddy." He goes in there. He swings, he misses a lot, hits a few, then he does the running test, the catching test. He does all these tests. And at the end of the day, it's an hour and a half of this. He's sitting on the bench. He's sweating. He looks at me, Kevin, and he says to me, "Thank you, Daddy. I had fun today." And I said, "Michael Raymond, don't you ever forget this. It's okay to have fear. Don't let it have you." My son, he's 26 years old. He's nervous. He's buying his first house. You know what he says to me, "Daddy? It's okay, though. I'm going to just swing, baby, swing."
Oh, man.
Wow.
Full circle.
Yep. So that's how important that fear process is to help people have that breakthrough. You can't have fear go away, but you don't want it to control you, to hold you back from playing full out in life. And anyway, so that's it.
I can honestly say you practice what you preach, because you being 16, emancipated, you did not let that fear have a hold of you. So we commend you in everything that you accomplished.
Thanks, brother.
We're honored to have you on our platform.
This is great.
Thank you.
I know we had some heavy moments. Like, wait a second, I should have done this sooner.
All right, so make sure you attend the Next Level event. Grab your tickets. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
When is it?
January 30th.
January 30th. All right, the Next
Tickets
Level
are almost sold out.
.com. Tickets are almost sold out.
That's right.
Don't miss this event. It's gonna be a
Let's hope we're
mega
not sold out
event.
by the time we drop this video,
No.
because it might be.
No, it's for just say you're calling from. What is this podcast called? where the hell am
Real
I?
Estate and Chill.
Kevin
Real
just
Estate
told
and
me to
Chill.
be here. I just trusted Kevin. He said, Darryl, can you be here at 10? I thought it was coming from food. Where's the food? I didn't know this was happening.
Well, Jimmy ate all the cannolis.
That's a low blow. That's true.
Extra large. They have the hoodies. You can buy them today they're just not for our cameraman. He's too big. You should see him. He can't, but that's because he has big arms, he said. Right? Sure. That's my problem too. I got big arms. Yeah. Big bones.
All right. So, Darryl, where can people reach out to you? Where can they contact you to?
If you need anything, don't call my cell. But I'll give you my office. Just go to DarrylSpeaks.com. DARRYL Speaks.com. We have a chat there. It's the bomb. We actually have people that talk to you. Anyway, go there. Anything we can do to help you, just reach out to us. But I hope to see you at the Next Level event. We only do it once a year. This is it. This is the one chance. All right.
Don't miss it.
All right. Well, that was the latest episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. Make sure to follow us on all platforms. Get your merch now. New merch dropping soon. And we will see you next episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Chaudhry and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fucking good, you might want to tell your ex. See you next time.